Is it recording? I don't know.
It is.
It better be. Be annoying. Yeah,
Bad rats.
finally it decides to show up. Hi, people. I know it's a long pause there, but oh well. Anyway, the last map we did was I Hate Mountains 2. Now, I know at least 500,000 people have downloaded this map,
If not more.
if not more. Yeah, and it's got a general consensus of being one of the top tier maps. But there's a couple of reasons why we played it. One, it's been a hell of a long time since we played it.
Two,
And
you need to upload maps. Besides, there just is not enough new uploads to keep us going.
yeah, we kind of just got so many of them, and really, you guys need to be more creative. If anything, we were running out of maps to play. We got a few in reserve, but only because we were smart enough to get them. Um, but yeah, you guys got to get some more maps out, and you got to do it now. We can't just review the top tier maps. We could, we don't like to,
But it's not why we created the show.
yeah, we wanted to get the lesser obscure ones. This
We would
one,
do these ones, but you have. When we get to these, it's kind of a showing of you need to actually start releasing some new maps.
yeah, it's nothing nothing against you guys, and I understand it could take hours upon hours to get the right map, but at least start
Especially those people making Rainbow Factory. Hurry that up!
that, or hell, do something nice for Kyo here. Get some Space Marine.
Space Wolves!
Yeah, get something like that. Anyway, aside from that, the map in general, we all have either seen it or played through of it, played it ourselves. You get the idea. It's a good map. Everything about it is really good. Is pretty much good. You get the Easter egg of Domo out of nowhere, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But it did change, because I do have a screenshot from about a year ago, when this map was pretty much just created, I think. And it was laying down in the shower face down, I think.
Oh, it's face up. Either way, it was in the shower.
It was in the shower. Same place where it is now. However, this time it's standing up and actually kind of saying hi. So that is improved. So to the creators, good job. Yeah, that's all you need to say from them. So let's get to it. We got 5 stars max, 1 star minimum. The infected. What'd you think?
It wasn't bad. I mean, there was a few points where they happened to become too annoying, but it wasn't much. When I look around me, wasn't that was too many. They stuck at you in that special pattern.
Yeah.
It's that special pattern where they don't need a lot of them, but they really annoy you.
Yeah, and it's actually the good kind of effective common that you want in a map.
That's a 1-star common right there.
Yeah. I have to agree. This map kind of makes the common more powerful than they should ever be. Not necessarily on their health, because really some of the bullshit things that happen with common, like they take more hits, really is just AI director being derp. But this one, the common were kind of set up in a special spawn area where they were the most effective way of being there, which is kind of a good tactic with the common, especially with hordes. Yeah, so if they're annoying and you don't need much of them, that's the right amount of common you need for a campaign. We played maps. We go back again to Death Hour, where common is all over the place. That's not a good thing. It's effective, but it's also overwhelming, and that's a bad thing for a map. This one, it's a good thing where it doesn't need a whole lot of them, but at the same time, it's effective, and it's almost at the point where it's the right amount you need. So yeah, it's 1 star there. Moving on to length. Well, if we were playing this blind,
It
I'd
would have
say,
been a close to about an hour, maybe a little over.
yeah. So it was 48 minutes because we have played this map before. We knew where to kind of go. Um, Even though it's been a long time since we played it, we still had a general idea of knowledge from it. So, what'd you think? Was it too long, too short still?
No, I give it its full stall though. I mean, really, it does its job. It really does. I can't complain about its length. I mean, it's right. It's because I mean we can't even spend as much time in that one house that you normally would.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that right there, you probably spend maybe 5 minutes longer than we did in that house. And
Yeah.
then looking around some of the areas, we kind of just rushed a few bits that you probably would normally take less time, more time doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a full stall.
Yeah, and I agree. It is a full star. Even if we played it blind, it still would have taken an hour. And for this kind of map, we've played it blind before, probably on our own time, and it did take an hour. A couple restarts even. But this time, we kind of goofed at one restart, and that was just because we weren't paying a fucking attention. We wanted to speed run it, and we kind of weren't smart enough to do it.
It's kind of wrong to. Sometimes it's kind of wrong to
Speed run it.
speed run a map. You're going to trying to base one of the ratings on time if you're gonna speed run it.
Yeah, we kind of went
We
stupid.
did a bit of a speed run on this one, so
Yeah, we wanted to see how fast we can beat it, and it still took us nearly 50 minutes to do so.
so yeah,
It's good for length.
yeah.
You can't really knock it for length anyway. Even if we tried to speed run it, I'd say probably about 40 minutes still to play
Yeah.
it. That's if you had like a pair of like 4 people and you told 3 just stay outside the mansion while I go up to start the radio. If I'm in trouble, help me out. But I'm gonna go get the radio. You just run back outside. Even if you did that, it's still gonna take at least 40 minutes because there's other parts where you gotta wait for the boat at the end, or well, the plane, I should say, um, where you have to kind of take on tanks. Even if you ran past them, you have common in your way. You gotta wait till the crane comes. All that stuff. There's stuff that's kind of artificial, and it takes time. You can't just find a glitch through it and no clip through area unless you are a cheater. So yeah, moving on. Difficulty, it's a 1.
Yeah, it's long.
It's working with the difficulty fine. This is a
If it
final
was
stage.
too difficult or too easy, I do not think it would be as highly rated map as it is.
Yeah, the only thing we could knock it on is the selection of melees.
Yeah, well, that could have been just old luck, just with it.
Yeah,
It could
but
just have happened to randomly generate, because one of the times I played through, it spawned a melee in a place when we died, and then we had to restart. I went back to the same spot, and the melee wasn't there.
yeah, there's
So,
random
it's
ones,
the
but
director, I think, screwing us over there.
yeah, but still, it was the overuse of axes, and understandably, this was in the
It's in
mountains
the
where
mountains.
it
Well,
makes sense, but
where the
there's
lumberjacks live, swinging from tree to tree.
yeah. But there's really no need for that many axes at all. I mean, I understand, hey, you need the axe because you died, but everybody else survived. You need another way, yeah, here's an axe. But you don't often die that much, and at least we ran over, 13 different places where there is an axe available.
Yes, quite a few axes.
So that's the only thing we can knock it for, but it still does not hurt it enough to go down any part of that star.
Axes all kind of one of the better melee weapons anyway.
Yeah. So, it's not gonna knock it. Anyway, design. Again, it's 1.
Can't knock it.
It's just a 1. It fits.
Yeah.
It stays with the names. It's a reference to Well, Francis saying I hate everything pretty much. Um, Even at that, it's in the mountains as well. It's got logging equipment. It's got trucks. It's got
It's got
everything.
what it needs, you know.
It's got everything. So it stays within the theme. There's no knocking it. And then of course there's recommendations, which if you've played this map, we've played this map, we played it again. It's kind of
It's
obvious.
kind of a one though.
It's a
It's a
one.
style.
Given these last three are ones, but they're kind of guaranteed ones.
I
You
mean, map that has this many plays and this much popularity, we
it's
could have just stopped earlier on in this.
in this review, because you have to understand difficulty staying the same. It's fixed. There's no glitches in this map, except well when I got stuck on the fence. But that was my goof because I actually ran forward before the fence was open, and that's usually Left 4 Dead 2 glitch.
Yeah.
Design, obviously, is all themed perfectly. There's no way of knocking it. And even recommendations, there's no way we can't recommend it. Everything about this map is the right map for it. This is one of the top tier maps to play anyway. Suicide Blitz is the one where I kind of got started into the custom maps. I don't know if Kyo got started in a different map, or Dread, or even Meta got in a different map. But I started with Suicide Blitz, then I found I Hate Mountains, I found Haunted Forest, and those are kind of the most popular maps you can find nowadays. Mainly because, well, they're good, they're well designed, there's nothing really taken away from them, and these guys take time to make sure it's done right. For example, if you want an example of what was wrong with a map, go back to a review of Town Escape. Everything about that map was wrong. Whereas this, everything about the map is right. That's the comparison you have. What we kind of look for is kind of what this map was. I Hate Mountains is one of the top tier. This is what we look for in a map, and we use this as a reference. So when we play Outbreak, Resident Evil Outbreak, that is close to that top tier area, but it does have some faults. Mainly its length. It's a bit too long. Even when we played it a second time because we had to re-record, it was still over 2 hours.
It was better than the blind. It's not a map that's pleasant to play blind.
Yeah, if you played it blind, it's going to take way too long. But if you know where everything is, it's still going to take a lot of time. It's going to take 2 hours.
Though. It's better after you know it, but
it's
still a tad long.
Yeah, and that map has some good parts to it. It just needs to tone down its length. Like, it needs to be shortened just maybe about half hour, and it would be fine. I mean, that was supposed to be a 7-part map, and that's an example of a good map, but it's just too long. That's its major fault. Everything about that map otherwise is right.
It's a fairly spot on map other than length.
Yeah, the length is the only problem with that map. And then you go to Death Hour, which is major problem is, well, it's just so overwhelming with the specials. And I get it's Death Hour. That's not a fun map. I wouldn't recommend it because it's not fun. It's one of those things where you have to be a serious player at that point. You gotta focus and everything. So it's one of those kind of maps where you don't want to recommend it, and it's too difficult at times. Everything about it is kind of within theme. It's got a right amount of campaign length, but it's got problems with the infected. It's got problems with its difficulty, and I just can't. We couldn't recommend that map for it. I don't think I think Dread was the only one that recommended that map because he's, well, Dread. He likes to disagree with us all the time.
He likes to recommend all the maps.
Except for Town Escape, which I think it's his only non-recommendation. Which is weird. So yeah, it's just... This is the way you do it. This map is the way you should try to get to. Use it as a reference point. Kind of see what they did. And use it. kind of use it as an idea. Don't steal their idea. I'm just saying, use it as a reference to kind of figure out, okay, what did they do here to make the common look effective and not be overwhelming too. Look at the length. Okay, I should try to get in that hour, maybe a little hour and a half if I'm putting up 6 parts to this. The difficulty, that's...
Well, an hour and a half if you actually have a really good design of the map.
Yeah, something like that. Even if you wanted to throw in an Easter egg like Suicide Blitz did with the Portal 2, which adds, what about now, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So, even
well,
if you
longer if you fuck it up a lot.
Yeah. And those are good choices for maps to play. So, yeah, other than that, this is pretty much our review. I'm happy that Kyo's back from Chicago, because now we have our 4th player in total for our next set of reviews, which will happen soon. I don't know what map we'll be playing then, because, well, I upload these at random days. I don't know why. Just do. So, yeah. Stay tuned. See you later.